Good morning and welcome to Cup of Joe with Poe. I'm your host, Don Poe. Today we're going to be talking about capital punishment, the law, things of that nature, punishment, and where it has came from and where it has ended up and where it's going. But if you have yet to follow or subscribe, please do. We need all the support we can get right now. We're at a crucial point where we're making that big turn, that big transition. Everything's getting better. We're building more followers. We're reaching more people. We are awakening everyone. Are you woke? Of course not. We already know woke is a joke. We are awake. We are coherent. We are living in the now. And if you haven't got a cup of coffee yet, I highly recommend Black Rifle Coffee Company's 1776. There it is. I keep forgetting where I got this tattooed at. Okay, now, back to the topic at hand. I don't understand some things. Listen, if you have people that have done horrible, heinous crimes, if someone does the worst things you could think of, then they should probably be punished accordingly. Excuse the noise. We have a tractor over here. Guy needs to go in and get him some coffee, too. So, you do something horrible, heinous, right? Then the punishment should fit. I believe in the death penalty myself. If someone goes and just ends a bunch of people's lives and then ends up like eating the people and doing all this really weird, outlandish shit that like this person's never going to be back in society ever again. Why in the world are we paying for them to still be housed? You're just going to keep them till they die in confinement. That is pretty much death in its own. Where's the humanity in that? These people preach some sort of, well, we can't kill them. That's inhumane. It's way more inhumane to keep people in conditions like that. These are the same people that want to fight for abortions because they say that it's inhumane for a child to be brought into a world that is so horrible. If the person can't take care of the child, which do you think is worse? Prison or just out here in the real world? Prison, obviously. So those people's ideology is flawed right there to begin with. Not to mention, when somebody steals something, they get punished. Then they steal again. They get punished. And they just keep stealing and they just keep getting punished and nothing ever really happens. I've been in prison for 8 years. I spent in prison. And in that amount of time, I got to learn people's mentalities, the way they think, the way they tick, why they did their crimes, things like this. And I've seen people come and go. I've seen people show back up 3-4 times in 8 years. And they kept doing the same crime. Well, now we have an issue because we have people that are refusing to conform to society in any regards. Pure anarchists. People that want to see the world burn. These are the people that go to prison and learn new ways to break the law instead of just saying, hey, guess what? I'm done. I tap out. I don't want to break the law no more. I don't like living with a bunch of men. But some men, they don't mind living with men. They even have excuses like, well, I'd rather be in prison and hustle for my money than be broke. I'd rather be broke and homeless than in prison any day. Any day. There's not enough money in the world to make me want to go to prison. There's no vagina in prison. I like vagina a lot. Okay, there's a lot of things you're not getting in prison. But for whatever purpose, people are brainwashed to believe that, well, it's my environment. I don't have a choice. I gotta get it. I gotta get to the bag. I gotta get to the bag to get money because why? Other people out here are getting to the bag. I'm sick of that shit, too. This shit sounds corny as fuck now. It sounds unintelligent. I like intelligence now. I'm all about intelligence. I'm all about building one's brain to comprehend the world to begin with not to mention everything in it. I like intelligence. People that go to prison, there's some highly intelligent people in there. But for the most part, most of them are idiots. And I would say 85% of the people in prison are pieces of shit and deserve to be there. And that's the truth. So when you're out here in society and you're thinking about breaking the law, don't. They need to bring back public executions. Yeah, they need to let the police beat the shit out of people again. As a matter of fact, they need to go on and restructure all this shit because check this out. Russia don't have a problem with people laying around in the streets and spray painting and shitting on the sidewalk. They don't have a problem with people shitting on the sidewalk in Russia. You know why? The police will come up and beat the shit out of you. There's no fear in America. There's no severe consequences anymore. And depending on what your, and once again, I don't see color here. I don't see color, but I'm forced to have to live in a world that is dominated by race. Not by my choice, by your guys' choice, because my people. No, your people is the human race. Now, within it, there are different ethnic groups. There are different backgrounds depending on where your people come from on the planet due by climate. All these things factor in on why your pigment is the color it is, to the size of your nose, to your hair, and how kinky it is, or how straight and long it is. All of that is science. It all has to do with where you're at on the planet, how long your people have been there. This is not hard to wrap your mind around. Very easy. Very easy. Now, if you really want to get in depth on this, some cultures advance quicker than others. So through that 100,000 years of advancement, then those people's brains function at a different rate and everything. You can go to certain parts of the world, like where's one of the most uneducated places in the world? Let's go to Southern Africa, sub-Saharan area. Now, down in that area, there was no, I don't even know if they have skyscrapers still to this day or modernized anything for that matter. They didn't have the wheel until the late 19th century. Wait, what? Didn't even have the wheel. So if you take people like that and you reintegrate them into another area and you try to force a new way of living on them, they're going to revert back to the old ways because they don't know. So they're not able to process this the same as people that have already been pushed into that for 100,000 years, whatever it may be. Time-wise, I would like to know that the length of time it takes for these things to actually happen. Got so far off topic here, but at the end of the day, if you break the law, you're subject to be punished. I broke the law and I did 8 years in prison for it, 8 straight. And I'm gonna tell you what, I learned a lot in that time. Like, I don't like prison, so therefore I don't want to break the law no more. Real simple. There is no I gotta have a new pair of fucking Jordans. There is no I gotta pay my car payment. There is no I need a Hellcat. There is no I gotta drink and smoke all day and provide my own drug habit through other people's drug habit that I'm using their habit to fuel my own habit. This shit is a giant mind fuck. And the people are stuck in this. There's people that wake up every morning and they think in their mind, I gotta get to the bag. I'm making money today. Oh, are you? And what are you gonna do with that money? You gonna pay your bills and buy a bunch of bullshit you don't need? Wow. Way to show the world you did something. Man, just live and die and enjoy the ride. Go work all you want. Go enjoy yourself, right? But don't lose sight of this. All this material possession shit don't mean nothing. It does not define who you are as a person. What defines you as the human being you are is the content of your character, how you treat others, how you move through life. Do you just indiscriminately kill insects? It sounds stupid, but do you indiscriminately go out of your way to kill an insect? I don't anymore. Do you kill small animals or anything like that? I don't. Do you cuss kids? I don't. Do you hit women? I don't. Do you talk down and degrade people like fucking bitch this and bitch that and little bastards. No, I don't. And you shouldn't either. And if that is in you, if you have that hatred, that anger in you or whatever, you need to find a way to get it out. Let the hate out of your heart, brother, because it ain't going to do nothing but make you continue to be miserable and everyone around you. That's why nobody wants to be around you if you're miserable. Think about it. Who wants to be around somebody that 24/7 their life is misery, bullshit, and just constant chaos? Nobody other than the people that enjoy bullshit and constant chaos. Birds of a feather will flock together. When you go into a crack house, guess who's in the crack house? People that are smoking crack and the crack dealers, and they're all the same walk of life. They're all in the same fucking circle. They're all hanging out together. The guy selling the crackheads crack is no better than the one smoking the crack because he's hanging out with them, making money off of their fucking profit. And more than likely, he's popping Percocets. Sorry about that. Popping Percocets, drinking, and smoking weed the whole fucking trip. So he's on drugs himself and trying to make himself feel better because the people smoking his drugs cost more expensive. They don't have the luxury of being the dealer and the smoker. That's what I'm saying. Society has lost sight of true punishment. We need Judge Dredd. That's what we need. We need a bunch of Judge Dredds rolling around that when they see something going on, let's say there's these guys are graping this little old lady. Do you think that people that are graping other people, do you think they should just be a couple years in prison? People that do real nasty, horrible things to children, do you think they should be castrated? Cut that thing off? Yes. If you grape and mess with children, it should be Mando cut that ding dong off. Mando castration. 100% without a shred of doubt. You hurt this child. You did mean, horrible, despicable things and mentally scarred this child for life. Then you should be castrated. Why are they just letting these people back out to go re-offend? I want that bleeding heart, liberal, Democrat, progressive, Republican, I don't give a fuck what they claim to be, come and try to defend that right. Defend rapers, child grapers. Defend them. I want to hear their defense for that. What is their defense for that? There isn't one. And if there is, I know it isn't valid. And if you hear it, you should probably persuade them to change the way they think. Because they're the ones that are fucking society up bad. Them and the ones that don't think you can't make somebody do something. Once somebody loses cognitive ability to bathe themselves properly, to be able to walk through society and function properly. Once you lose that, you need to be put into a facility receiving help, medical treatment, so you can be put back out into society to be a productive member of it. Instead, they will let people smear poop on the wall, scream in tongues like, oh, that's just what they do. They'll send them to jail. Do you think somebody that smeared poop all over the wall and writing in it, hasn't bathed in a week, hasn't even been treating their body or themselves in any way, you literally know the person is mentally incapacitated? Do you think a mentally incapacitated poop smearer should be put in fucking jail? No! Because then when you put him in jail, now you're wasting all these resources in jail because he can't be around all the other people. So now you got to put him in some special place or deal with all the mental issues that's coming along with you. We are wasting resources in America. And when I say resources, I'm not talking about energy. I'm talking about manpower, people, resources. We are wasting them. How many of you are putting helmets on your kids and elbow pads and training wheels and protecting your child? Take that goddamn helmet off the kid and the elbow pads. Keep them training wheels on there, but get them off of the ground a little bit so the bike's teetering and they almost fall. People have got to fall down and bump themselves to appreciate how easy it is to get hurt. Appreciate that. Not look at it the wrong way. Appreciate it. That at any moment, something can happen and you could be hurt. Not that, oh, I'm going to protect you the whole trip. No, that's just a lie. Don't lie to your kids and don't lie to yourself. Take the helmets off. Take the helmets off. Let the kids climb trees. And if you are a mask wearer, don't do that to your children either. Are you going to force your child to wear a mask? I mean, it's 2025 anyways. What are you doing wearing a mask to begin with? Unless you have some horrible dental issues, I don't mind. But don't run around through society wearing a mask. It just lets me know you're a weirdo liberal. That's all that is. Just like me, if I wear a Make America Great Again hat, then it's known immediately I'm conservative. That's why I put 1776 on my forehead. So whether I'm wearing a hat or not, they know immediately, oh, this guy's conservative. This guy probably has morals or values and principles to himself. And in this day and age, I believe in capital punishment. I believe that if you kill, you should be killed. If you grape, you should be graped at this point. Put them all together. Not to mention, prison needs revamped. Quit trying to force people to live together that don't want to. They don't do that in society. So why are you doing it in prison? As some sort of experiment, or just so you can keep your guards on their toes because you're causing constant chaos and bullshit? There is no... Listen, prison is set up with men with a lot of testosterone, with a lot of anger and a lot of hostility and frustration to be torn away from whatever it was you were doing and put into that cage, that environment. Let's strip away whatever the charges are and let's deal with the mentality, the mental mind frame behind this. So you have these men all grouped together and they force them. They'll put white, black, Latino, it doesn't matter. They'll mix them all together and say, you have to do this. This is how messed up the prison system is. They have it set up where there's a white-black ratio, and they have to meet a quota standard through that ratio. That's bullshit. As a matter of fact, I imagine if you made ethnicity prisons, people will go to their own race or whatever. Once again, we're all just humans. But at the end of the day, if I had a choice to be in white prison, black prison, or Latino prison, I'm taking Latino prison. And the reason I say this is because the food, the culture, everything's going to be pretty sweet. And they don't have as many dope fiends as the white prison would. White prison, somewhat of a torture, because in prison, 75% of all the white dudes are dope fiends, are straight, real to life. I gotta have Suboxone. I'm mixing Suboxone with water and sniffing it. I'm putting yellow strip things in my eyeballs to get high. My goodness. What does a society come to when you're taking some government man-made paper thing getting high off of it? Dope fiend mentality, literally. And it hurts people's feelings, and it should. If you do Suboxone every day, you're a dope fiend. You're not helping yourself. You're not, I'm weaning myself off so I don't do heroin. Just don't do drugs, period. You don't have to do Suboxone. Only reason you're doing Suboxone is to stay high and the chemicals in your body, and now you're addicted to it, but it's legal. So since the government gives it to you, since it's legal, then it's condoned. I don't know how to wake all of you up. I don't know how to really truly reach you. And I need, you know what? I think we need to make this a little bit bigger. We need to start bringing guests and hosts on here. We need to have a panel is what this really bears down to. I need to find a centerist, somebody that's in the center, and I need to find somebody on the far left. And obviously I'm on the far right. So we need to find these other two people and get them on the show so we can hear the other points. Because I need to know why, from their point of view, that it's okay to keep race baiting. Why it's okay to dwell in the past. Why it's okay to let grapers get out after doing such little time. Why people can hurt children and not even be properly punished. Why murderers can continue to just sit and breathe the same air we breathe after taking multiple lives and raping and doing all this horrible shit because of somebody's bleeding heart ideology that somehow you're supposed to just pay for these people for the rest of their life to sit in horrible conditions. That's true cruelty. Once again, they fight for an unborn baby, and that's what that is. That's an unborn child, an unborn human inside of a woman's belly. They can go ahead and say it's okay because that woman might be in poverty and whatever her condition and circumstances are, they're going to condone murdering that unborn child. But yet, because it's humane, but yet you can't murder a real murderer. You're going to keep them around in a cell, trapped, caged down, eating the same thing. Tell me which is worse, truly. Of course, killing the child is worse of the two scenarios, but it's the ideology behind it that they can condone that, but they can't condone taking the life of someone that took multiple lives. It's just stupid. It's oxymoron type shit. It's getting to the point America's getting so fed up with everything. Everything's out in the open now, too. We have more transparency. Once we get this Epstein shit out the way and some of these other things out the way, America will, I believe, function a lot better, and we need to do something about some of these ideologies. I hate sounding like this, but they're not helping, they're hindering. Like the Democrat Party right now, what do they have to stand on? If you come and break the law, if you break federal law, if you come here illegally, you are not a U.S. citizen. Just because you come to America does not make you a U.S. citizen at all. At all. Quite the contrary. You broke the law and came here illegally. So there's no due process. What is your due process? How were you allotted due process? Where at in the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence, where at in the Constitution does it say foreign invaders have rights? What rights? World rights? What rights do they have? Their country? I don't, make it make sense. If you come here illegally, there is no due process. What is the due process coming from? The Constitution doesn't state that there's no due process. What due process? I can't wrap my mind around this. Due process to what? Yeah, there's no due process. I keep racking my brain over and over and over, trying my best to figure this out. And I mean, obviously, I'm pretty versed in law Constitution, Declaration of Independence, things like this. I know quite a bit about America and its laws. I mean, mind you, there's state laws for everything, but on a federal level, if you're here illegally, you're subject to be put back to your country of origin without due process. Because what due process are you allotted? How are you in any way able to say, hey, I got to get a chance, a shot here? No, if you come here illegally, you need. How is that hard on due process? What? Once again, in the Constitution, you show me where it says that a foreign invader, someone that illegally comes in this country, has due process. You don't even have a social security number, so you're not even a U.S. citizen. So none of our laws, rules, or regulations apply to you other than get the fuck back out the way you came in. It doesn't make sense to me. All right, I've done enough ranting for the day, and it's going to be a hot one today, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a little bit longer of a cup of Joe with Poe. We're creeping up on the 25-minute mark, and if you have made it this far, thank you for putting up with my scatterbrain all over the place topic today. I mean, I still was on topic, but wow, there's a lot. There's a lot to process here. I hope that you'll take the time to maybe rewatch this. Please leave your comments in here. Please let me know what you think about this subject and where you have you ever been to prison? Have you ever been in trouble with the law? Chat, let me know these things if you don't mind. Cut it up with me a little bit. Hit me up in Messenger later if you would, and maybe we can sit down and discuss some things. If you are on the opposite side of things that I am on, please voice your opinion. This is all open here. We are not here attacking each other in any way. We are not belittling, arguing, fighting, none of that. We're just sharing our points of view, okay, and then objectively giving our opinions back and forth. That's all this truly needs to be, and that's it. So we can all learn together and grow together as a society. Instead of this, everybody's out to get us, and we can't get a fair shake, and none of that applies to anyone in this world unless you put yourself in some crazy position. Once again, if I ran around in a Puff the Magic Dragon outfit, of course society's going to look at me crazy because I'm dressed like Puff the Magic Dragon. Duh. If you run around with bright green hair, with pink polka dots in your hair, and a bone through your nose, people are going to look at you differently. This is a no-brainer. Halloween is Halloween. Every day is every day. Express yourself however you want. Walk through life however you want. But when you get looks and people question things, you'll know why. It isn't their fault. I have face tattoos. When people look at me and stare at me, I don't get angry like, what are you looking at? I have face tattoos all over my face. Of course they're looking at my face. If you have something that makes people look at you, if you got something going on that makes people look at you, that's why they're looking at you. They're not judging you for any other reason other than you did that to yourself. I did this to myself. I put tattoos all over my face. Now when people look at me, I know why. It isn't that I'm going to get, hey, what the fuck you looking at? Why are people staring at me? I don't get a... I did it to myself. Everything we do, we pretty much do to ourselves. So do this to yourself. Go get you a cup of Black Rifle coffee. You can't go wrong. Maybe later today, I'll show you what Black Rifle Coffee Company looks like. We can go on out there and give a little tour or something. I got some messages back. They look very good. We are trying to gain some affiliates here, and I hope they're one of them, because I really enjoy coffee. And this is Cup of Joe with Poe, and I've been your host, Don Poe. Enjoy the rest of your day. One love.